let's real quick, let's talk about the whiskey. Barrell Seagrass. Barrell is a company that I really love in Kentucky because they're blending. And I think blending is one of the great futures of American whiskey that like the Scots understand that blending is a golden art form. This is rye whiskey finished in Martinique rum, which is Martinique rum is agricole rum. Agricole rum means you use the sugar cane, not the byproduct of the process. And because of that, you get way more earth and almost funky rum, right? Meaty and more esters and all of this other stuff. So it's like a rum drinker's rum. And then Madeira, the fortified wine, and apricot brandy barrels. So, a fruit brandy. And so that's 3 different kinds of dessert, I would argue. I mean, maybe rum wouldn't be dessert, but for me it is because it's really sweet. Kind of dessert finishes on a rye. And I've always thought that rye always came across as more herbal and sweet than you would think. So the question is, how sweet is this? Okay, on the nose, it's just an explosion of rye, and it doesn't really smell candy. If you get to the top of the glass, that's when you start to get straight on hard candy. And all the herbal notes of the rye sort of bypass. If you get to the bottom, there's the rye. It really does smell like if you turned rye whiskey into a hard candy. That's bizarre. Whoa! So, it wasn't the rum. It might have been the brandy. It's probably the Madeira. There's something in here. It goes rye grain, and then before it gets into full rye, it just does this massively quick swirl, like shaking a snow globe. And it spins into this sweetness that just dominates the finish, but it's not a sweetness I was expecting. I don't know which one took over. It feels to me, because the word apricot is in my head, that's probably what it is. The apricot brandy is dominating. I kind of like that even with all 3 of those finishings, you do feel like you got 3 different complexities of things in there. Like it's not just unified into, oh, obviously there's a rum finish. So this is really interesting. And I think it's not cheap when it comes to a rye, but it's a damn good whiskey. And 59% alcohol. Hang on a second. I'm just gonna, I forgot my little straw. Just gonna add a little water into that. All right. The rye came back. Okay, if you want the rye to return, add a little drop of water. Lowering the proof brings the rye to the surface.